You may recognize Jenna Ortega from her role as Wednesday Addams in the Netflix series Wednesday, and maybe you've seen her in scary movies like Scream or The Babysitter Killer Queen. The young actress is making a name for herself in the horror industry, no matter what role she plays. As if all of that weren't enough, she also has almost 40 million Instagram followers. But do you know more about her? Keep watching to discover facts about Jenna Ortega that nobody else knows or understands. She donated to a child's cancer fund. It seems as if Jenna Ortega is living up to the pledge she made to her mother years ago, which was to make charitable use of her platform in the event that she ever achieved fame. In addition to her outspokenness on topics such as the lack of diversity in Hollywood and the state of mental health, she has also contributed to charitable causes. During the year 2016, Ortega participated in an event to collect money for the cancer treatment of a fan. At the time, she was still appearing in Disney Channel episodes like Elena of Avalor. Thus, Riley Rose, who was 5 years old at the time, was fighting neuroblastoma, and Ortega held meet and greets, took photographs with fans, and signed autographs in exchange for contributions at a nearby restaurant. This was all done to help pay for Riley Rose's medical expenses. She was able to raise $4,100 by the time the event came to an end. Kristen Sherman, Riley Rose's mother, was overjoyed and claimed that her daughter loved it and loved meeting Jenna. Jenna also gave the girl an Elena of Avalor book and CD as a present. Activism is one of her passions. Ortega is of Mexican and Puerto Rican descent, and she is very conscious of the fact that her work has the ability to give a good representation of young women of color in the film and television industries. The color of our skin does not determine the limits of our abilities. It's essential for young girls to see this so that we can encourage them to appreciate both their brilliance and their diversity, Ortega added. As a consequence of this, she has been quite vocal not just about the lack of diversity in the media, but also about how Latinos are treated in real life. She even caused a stir at the Radio Disney Music Awards in 2018 when she wore a jacket with the inscription, "I do care and you should too," on the back of it. This, of course, was a reaction to a similar jacket worn by Melania Trump while she was the First Lady. Melania Trump wore the jacket "I really don't care, do you?" when she was on a trip to see immigrant children in Texas, shortly after the Trump administration came under criticism for splitting immigrant families. This led to a great lot of controversy, and it was a large part of the reason why this happened. Ortega thinks that by taking a public stand on these problems, she would inspire other young women to do the same. She has said that there is no reason to not speak out. Each and every one of our opinions matters. She's thalassophobic. A person who suffers from thalassophobia has an extreme phobia of vast amounts of water, such as the ocean or a deep lake. Since the release of Jaws in 1975, which left a wound in the form of a shark bite on our collective psyche, who among us doesn't have a healthy respect and reverence for the unknown that lies under the waves, it's plausible that Jenna Ortega herself has the same concern. On the Drew Barrymore show, when asked about the thing that worries her the most, she said, "I'm frightened of the water because there are dinosaurs in there." It's interesting that she also said that she has a phobia of huge groups of people rushing, since it implies that something terrible is getting closer. According to what she said, "If I was strolling on the street and all of a sudden I saw a mass of people jogging, I would definitely start running with them." She emphasizes mental wellness. The American Psychological Association conducted a poll in 2019 and concluded that members of Generation Z are much more likely than members of previous generations to report experiencing mental health difficulties. It's possible that this is the result of an onslaught of traumatic historical events in recent years, but it might also be the result of a growing readiness among younger people to talk about the challenges they face. Ortega, for her part, is one of those eager to speak out, and she has described herself in an interview as someone who deals with anxiety and sadness and spends a lot of time alone. She is aware of the significance of maintaining a happy and healthy brain, but she emphasizes how difficult it is for her to check in with herself or take breaks at work for her mental health. In spite of this, she encourages herself and others to keep making an effort, saying, "It's frightening to face oneself. Learn more about who you are inside and out. It's not up to you whether you do it or not, but it's absolutely required. I'm still trying to figure out how to handle it." If not an actor, she would be a composer.
I'd love to be a musical composer. I'd love to put out neo-composing albums or things like that, very ambient noise.
Ortega did, at different points, evaluate her alternative possibilities, despite the fact that she made her decision on her chosen path at such a young age. She even admitted in one interview what she may do for a living if she weren't an actress, saying, "If I weren't acting as a job, something that I've been contemplating becoming is a composer." She added, "I've always had a profound appreciation for music, especially film soundtracks, and I still do." She went on to clarify that she wasn't particularly interested in being a musician in the sense of becoming a singer or songwriter, but rather that her primary focus was on film scores. Thus, it's possible that moviegoers may recognize her name one day for the job she's done behind the camera. She is a published writer. Some of Jenna Ortega's fans may be surprised to learn that in addition to being an award-winning actor, an activist, and an up-and-coming scream queen, Jenna Ortega is also an author. She released a book in 2021 with the title It's All Love, Reflections for Your Heart and Soul. The book has pictures, quotations that are both uplifting and enlightening, as well as personal anecdotes written by the actress herself. When asked why she felt the need to share her thoughts, Ortega responded as follows. "Growing up in the day and age when social media can be so detrimental and so poisonous to young people's mental health, we all kind of struggle with self-esteem and self-love. With this book, I really just wanted to reach out to people who may also be struggling." To illustrate this point, she said that she made an effort to incorporate private and sometimes even humiliating anecdotes and blunders from her own life in the book in the hopes that others might connect to, or potentially even gain insight from these experiences. Susie and the Banshees inspired her Wednesday dance scene. When Wednesday was released on Netflix, one of the highlights of the season was the traditional high school dance scene in which the eponymous child of woe busts out the steps to Goo Goo Muck by the Cramps. It's one of those times when Ortega appears to be channeling the spirit of Wednesday Addams more than ever before. And she was responsible for the scene's choreography as well as assisting director Tim Burton with the selection of the music. She said that she felt pretty uneasy about her dancing at first, but eventually, she was able to find inspiration that helped her get over it. She thanked Susie Suze, Bob Fosse's Rich Man's Frug, Lisa Loring, Lean Lovitch, Dennis Levant, and archival footage of goths dancing in clubs in the 1980s in a tweet for assisting her in developing the appropriate dance moves. Despite the fact that the moment was well received by fans of Ortega and Wednesday, the scene was criticized online. The revelation was met with disdain, not just of the actress for continuing to work while being aware that she was unwell, but also of those in control of shooting the actress rather than sending her home to recover from her illness. MGM issued a statement in which it said that strict COVID standards were followed and that production withdrew Jenna offset after it was established that the positive test was accurate. And that's it! Leave a comment below and tell us which detail about Jenna Ortega stunned you the most and why you were surprised by it. Thanks for watching this video. Click the subscribe button and see you in the following video.